Hare Krishna, this morning we are reading from Shrimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 5, entitled The Meeting of Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva, texts 12 and 13. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I think this is 13 on the board, yeah? It starts Avadyanta. It's on the board. Avadyanta Vritrani. Avadyanta Vichitrani. Varitrani Mahotseve. Varitrani Mahotseve. Krishne Vishveshware Nante. Krishne Vishveshware Nante. Nandasya Vracham Agate. Nandasya Vracham Agate. Vadyanta Vichitrani. Varitrani Mahotsave. Krishne Vishveshware Nante. Nandasya Vracham Agate. Vadyanta Vichitrani. Varitrani Mahotsave. Krishne Vishveshware Nante. Nandasya Vracham Agate. Vadyanta vibrated in celebration of Vasudeva's son. Vichitrani, various. Varitrani, musical instruments. Maha Utsave, in the great festival. Krishna, when Lord Krishna, Vishva Ishvare, the master of the entire cosmic manifestation, Anante, unlimitedly, Nandasya, of Maharaj Nanda, Vrajam, at the pasturing place, Agate, had so arrived. Translation. Now that the all-pervading, unlimited Lord Krishna, the master of the cosmic manifestation, had arrived within the estate of Maharaj Nanda, various types of musical instruments resounded to celebrate the great festival. Please repeat. Now that the all-pervading, unlimited Lord Krishna, the master of the cosmic manifestation, had arrived within the estate of Maharaj Nanda, various types of musical instruments resounded to celebrate the great festival. Purport by His Majesty Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita 4:7, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhutanam dharmasya taratmanam srijamyaham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharat, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. End of quote. Whenever Krishna comes once in a day of Brahma, he comes to the house of Nanda Maharaj in Vrindavan. Krishna is the master of all creation, Savaloka Maheshwaram. Therefore, not only in the neighborhood of Nanda Maharaj's estate, but all over the universe and in all other universes, musical sounds celebrated the auspicious arrival of the Lord. Text 12. Ta ashisha parihun janash chitram pahiti balake harita chona tailhabhi sin chancho jantam ugalu. Translation. Offering blessings to the newborn child, Krishna, the wives and daughters of the cowherd men said, "May you become king of Raja and long maintain all its inhabitants." They sprinkled a mixture of turmeric powder, oil, and water upon the birthless Supreme Lord and offered their prayers. Text 13. Now that the all-pervading, unlimited Lord Krishna, the master of the cosmic manifestation, had arrived within the estate of Maharaj Nanda, various types of musical instruments resounded to celebrate the great festival. Here we're hearing about Nanda Utsav festival, the great festival of Nanda Maharaj, celebrating the birth of Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it's a very wonderful festival. It was the only child after a long time. So it was their first child after many attempts to have a child. And he's a king, so it's very important that the king has a son. And so finally, in their old age, they had a son. And then the residents of Vrindavan, they're rushing. They've heard the news, they're all going to the palace in great jubilation. And they're blessing him. May you become the king of Raja and long maintain all its inhabitants. In other words, may you look after us and they gave him all kinds of blessings and all auspicious substances to make the appearance auspicious. But not just because it was the king's son, but because it was Krishna, then it was a very extraordinary festival. When Krishna appears in this world, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and everything and everyone is serving Krishna. Some directly and some indirectly. But there's nothing but Krishna, right? If Krishna's expanded himself, God is one, he becomes many for pleasure. So he's expanded himself for pleasure. That's the purpose of life, is pleasure. Is it not? We are looking for pleasure, relief and pleasure. So that's the actual purpose of life. Because that's in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is full of pleasure, and the Chinmaya, Vasati, living entity also. Krishna is a reservoir of pleasure, but we also made of pleasure. Aladini. That is a part of our nature. So Krishna expands unlimited, so he can enjoy unlimitedly. It's because he's the Supreme Lord, that's his prerogative. When we try to enjoy unlimited, that's our selfishness, because we're not actually we have no right to enjoy separately from Krishna, because everything is we're actually meant for Krishna's enjoyment also. Our existence is meant for Krishna's enjoyment. That's the purpose. That's why we exist. So when we forget Krishna, then you end up in the material world. to correct that mentality, that you can understand that we're actually meant for Krishna's pleasure. This is a very revolutionary concept in the material world. It's not about my pleasure, it's about something else. So you don't hear this outside of Indian philosophy, Vedic philosophy. But actually, service to Krishna constitutes the highest pleasure. It is a secret of material world is the opposite, right? Where everyone wants to enjoy themselves. They want to be the master. If there's a preference, people will take the position of master rather than servant, right? Generally. There's a choice. What will you take? You want to be the master or the servant? Well, everyone will take the master. But here in the spiritual world, when one recognizes as a Krishna is the actual factual enjoyer, and engaging in service to increase Krishna's pleasure constitutes the highest happiness, because then you're functioning just as you're supposed to function. You're created, we're created to give Krishna pleasure. And when we're giving Krishna pleasure, then that's a perfect situation you can be in, because that's your real self, that's your actual essence of your existence, is to serve Krishna. So when we're doing that, then you can't improve on that. So naturally, it's the greatest pleasure, it's the greatest happiness, it's the greatest of everything. You're perfectly situated. There's nothing lacking there. This is what everyone's supposed to be doing. And this is the consciousness that we're trying to evoke or reawaken in the material world. Because we had misused that independence somehow or other. So now we have to use it again properly, that independence, and direct one's desires towards Krishna. Make Krishna the center of one's life instead of oneself. Make as being the center. This is the cause of all the problems. So the best example we see is that of the rich bosses in the material world. We don't hear much about the spiritual world, but we hear about when the Lord comes here to display those same activities which go on in the spiritual world, in the material world. So his happiness is unimpeded. He sends his elders. The elders come before him. When the Brahma and the demigods, they went to the ocean of milk. Within the material universe, there's a Vaikuntha planet where the Lord stays. And with Lord Brahma, the demigods went there and addressed the Lord. And he said, okay, I've understood the problem. There's cancer, etc. And I will come soon. So now all you demigods, you take birth in the family of Vishnu's Bhojas, right? Jadu dynasty. So you go there. So they took their births also as residents, and in that demigods can expand themselves also. They can also retain their demigod body and also partially enter into a body of a human entity, on this category of human beings. So they went. Now we heard yesterday how the gopis were rushing towards Nanda Bhavan, right? To see Krishna, but they'd never seen Krishna. They never heard it. There was no glories of Krishna because he hadn't done anything at that time. He was just born, right? This is the Jata Karma ceremony, just about cutting the umbilical cord. The law has just appeared, so who knows of his greatness? Who knows actually who it is? But because because they're the eternal servants of Krishna, all the gopis are going to offer Krishna their presentations because the gopis are eternal associates of the Lord. Now they become more jubilant because of the news of Krishna's appearance in Vrindavan. So they had something actually. The Nitya Siddhas, associates of Lord Krishna. Some of them could apparently understand that here's the Lord taking place, taking birth. Yeah, so they're especially happy. But so when the Lord appears, he's not going to come. He doesn't touch the material world. He comes to he comes to act in his own spiritual environment. It doesn't change. Nothing's going to change for him. He's going to enjoy in that situation. So he's not going to interact with the material world of the three modes of nature, which is really low class pleasure or activity within the three modes of nature. We think some things are good and some things are not so good. Great, but actually it's all really low class compared with the spiritual atmosphere. There's no old age, disease, death, hunger, thirst, lamentation, fear, all these things are absent in the spiritual world. So Krishna's not going to come accept something inferior. His business is not to come here to enjoy. He's always enjoying wherever he does. His main business is to come to relieve the distress of his pure devotees who are feeling separation from him. And by doing that, attract other conditioned souls and at the same time re-establishing the religious principles by removing the unwanted elements like the demons. And, so this is why he's come on the pretext. So he's come for many reasons. But he says, yes, I'll come. Meanwhile, you go take birth now, and then I'll come along with my associates. Then he says, this is, in the prayers by the demigods, then Krishna is ordering Yogamaya, potency. He says that this is in the prayers by the demigods. Oh, my potency, who are worshipable for the entire world and whose nature is to bestow good fortune on all living entities. Go to Vraja, where there live many cowherd men and their wives. In that beautiful land where many cows reside, Rohini, the wife of Vasudeva, is living at the home of Nanda Maharaj. Other wives of Vasudeva are also living there incognito because of fear of Kamsa. Please go there. The Prabhu says Yogamaya was ordered to go to Gokul because and encouraged the devotees with fearlessness. And because she appeared there, it became even more beautiful and safe. It means there was no fear, there was no anxiety, because Yogamaya arranged the situation, because Krishna was going to come there. And so he's creating a perfect environment before he comes. You see that with all the many incarnations in that. Say Nityananda, when he appeared like that, everything from Nityananda's appearance became more and more auspicious. Same with Gauranga Mahaprabhu. It became, when he appeared in the womb of Sachi, then Navadvip became very opulent. Already it was quite opulent, but that time it was really opulent. There's millions of people lived here. It's a great place of learning, a famous place. And when Mahaprabhu came, then it became very nice. It became very opulent. I mean, it's very easy to live. Lots of realizations will be there. There are no impediments. Of course, the people weren't so spiritually inclined at that particular time. That's one of the reasons he came there. But everything turned, materially, everything was fantastic. There was no want. But when actually the Lord appeared, then he arranged that the full moon be eclipsed. And so when it's an eclipse is not considered auspicious, so during the eclipse you just do the most auspicious things. So everyone was chanting the name of Hare Krishna and taking bath in Ganga. And it says there were millions of people, and everyone was chanting, the Lord had just appeared then, appeared from the womb of Sachi, and it was ecstatic. The whole atmosphere was ecstatic. There was no enmity to everyone, people were embracing each other, and the demigods were there, showering flowers, some were moving incognito. It was just a fantastic feeling, just everything, there's no problems. And everyone was chanting, hurry, hurry, and from the children to the elderly. Everyone was so happy. It was really but the devotees could understand it, that there's something special going on here. Maybe the Lord himself has appeared. They were thinking like that. Maybe he has appeared. Otherwise, it's not usual, to feel so good, so great. Just there's really no problem. Occasionally you feel that, right? Everything's really good. Not for long, but there really was no problem at that time. And millions of people were chanting the names of the devotees were ecstatic. What's going on? Everyone's chanting the holy name. So what happens when the Lord appears in the when he appeared in Mathura, in the mind of Vasudeva became very effulgent, because the Lord is there with every six opulences directly inside. He's there as a super soul, but now he's there as a supreme personality of Godhead. Super soul is just like a witness. He's a little indifferent to it, in one sense, But Krishna, the personality of God, is different. He takes personal interest. And so Vasudeva was effulgent. All the qualities of the Lord were manifest in him. Powerful, rich, influential, beautiful. Even Kamsa couldn't really approach him. He was so powerful. And then it says, then he initiated the Devaki. Then the Krishna left from the mind of Devaki, or the heart of Vasudeva, to Devaki. Then she became effulgent. She became very happy and effulgent. She jubilant, beautiful, because Krishna was there. Then Kanka saw it. This is it. There's no mistake in Krishna's. Krishna's in her womb this time. She was, just effulgent, brilliant, and beautiful. So, because she's actually carrying the Lord herself. Then, in the appearance of Krishna, the actual birth of Lord Krishna, this is the first sloka in that chapter, first 1 to 5. I read it because it shows you how the atmosphere was created by Yogamaya in preparation of Krishna. This is the first sloka, birth of Krishna, chapter 3. Therefore, thereafter, at the auspicious time for the appearance of the Lord, the entire universe was surcharged with all the qualities of goodness, beauty, and peace. Everyone was peaceful, goodness, sattvic, and beauty. Everything was nice. Everyone was nice. Everything was nice. Just like we want here. The constellation Rohini appeared, as did stars like Ashvini. Their auspicious planets and constellations appeared there. The constellations adjust themselves to the most perfect constellations have the most perfect influence. So everything's Krishna. Krishna's coming. Krishna's the best, especially the Krishna from Braja. So everything and everyone is his servant, right? The planets are all servants of Krishna. The presiding deities of the planets, they're all servants of Krishna. They know they're servants of Krishna. Devatas. And so they're arranging. Krishna's coming. They're going to arrange for the very, very best. Everything's going to be tip-top, see, first class. So even the planets are arranged, because it says it was like the full moon. The moon became full, but Krishna appeared 8 days after the full moon. But the moon was so jubilant that the moon also wanted to give its best. It says so. It became like a full moon analogy that acharyas give. That everyone wants to give their best to Krishna, and all directions appeared extremely pleasing. Hmm? Any way you want to go is great, right? Which road you're going to take, they're all good. They're all inviting. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Everything's good. The beautiful stars twinkled in the cloudless sky, decorated with towns, villages, mines, and pasturing grounds. The earth seemed all auspicious. The rivers flowed with clear water, and the lakes and vast reservoirs full of lilies and lotuses were extraordinarily beautiful. In the trees and green plants, full of flowers and leaves pleasing to the eye, birds like cuckoos and swarms of bees began chanting with sweet voices for the sake of the demigods. A pure breeze began to blow, pleasing the sense of touch and bearing the aroma of flowers. So the scent is heady with the beautiful scents, pollens from the flowers. It feels so nice that the touch of the breeze is perfect. It's like a little above body temperature, and it just feels nice. It's a sense of touch. So the sense of we heard the cuckoos, the bees, the sense of sound. Everything was like a concert orchestra. The sense, the flowers and the landscape was extraordinarily beautiful because everyone was giving its best. Uh, so all the senses became completely satisfied and enlivened. And when the Brahmanas engaged in ritualistic ceremonies or ignited their fires according to the Vedic principles, the fires burned steadily, undisturbed by the breeze. So even the breeze took consideration with the fire, that the flames just burned straight up. They didn't waver in the breeze. Thus, when the birthless Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was about to appear, the saints and brahmanas, who had always been disturbed by the demons like Kamsa and his men, they felt peace within the core of their hearts, and kettle drums simultaneously vibrated from the upper planetary systems. So everyone's happy. The whole universe is happy and ecstatic. So the situation for Krishna to appear. The purport, Prabhupada elaborates on some of this. He says, when it was time for the Lord to appear, the astrological influence of the constellation known as Rohini was also prominent, because this is very auspicious. Rohini is under the direct supervision of Brahma. So then, all the Krishna's birth, all the planetary systems, they automatically adjusted, so it would be the best influence on the planet Earth. There was an atmosphere in all directions of peace and prosperity. All the auspicious stars you could see in the sky, and the surface in all the towns and villages are pasturing grounds, and within the mind of everyone there were signs of good fortune. It's not only good now; it's going to be good in the future. This is a feeling. So everything became so auspicious, and everyone began the forests. The beautiful birds in the forest began to give their best songs. The peacocks began to dance jubilantly with the peahens. the, the breeze was carrying the aroma of all the different best flowers. And then for the Brahmins, they've been ordered not to perform sacrifices, but now they were fearlessly performing sacrifices with great joy, and their minds became full of great joy because they could hear the demigods in the sky and proclaiming the birth of the Lord, and these different, they're sounding their different vibrations with their drums and their horns, and the singing of the Gandharvas, etc., Vididharas, the dancing. That was going on, so they had no fear. It was just a great time, fantastic time. And the seasonal changes took place throughout the entire universe. Although Krishna was born in the month of September, the atmosphere became like springtime, because spring is considered to be the best season. So even the seasons, they put forward the best season came forward, and it means all the different flowers that bloom in different seasons, they would all bloom at that particular time, at the same time, to satisfy Krishna. The fruits would appear at this same time. Everything and everyone would actually put their best. The demigods, a great saintly person, showered flowers in a joyous mood, and clouds gathered in the sky and very mildly thundered, making sounds like those of an ocean's waves. Then the Supreme Personality, God Vishnu, is situated in the core of everyone's heart, appeared from the heart of Devaki in the dense darkness of light, like the full moon rising on the eastern horizon. Because Devaki was the same category as Sri Krishna. So this is the descriptions there of the environment, how the atmosphere changes by the influence of Yogamaya, the Lord's own personal internal energy. He arranges for everything for the Lord, because Krishna, he doesn't actually have to do anything. His business is just enjoying. That's that's the trait of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This God, which the way when we say God, generally implies, if you ask people in general, it means the Creator, the Maintainer, the Destroyer, the Almighty Lord. But that's not Krishna. He's not the Almighty Lord. His business is in enjoying. He doesn't do any creation or maintenance or right? Why should he have to do that? He desires Balaram. He desires something. Balaram appears from him. Balaram then goes out to the Jata Vyuhar, again another Jata, then the Mahavishnu, different Vishnus. They do all the work. So Krishna doesn't actually have to do anything. Krishna's desire itself is actual fact. So when Krishna desires something, then he's in multipotencies, so then his different energies, Yogamaya, in the form of the Leela Shakti or different kinds of personalities, which have different responsibilities, and they make the creation. They create this spiritual world. Like Balaram creates the spiritual world where Krishna's gonna play, gonna move. Then Yogamaya is there. Radharani is there. So they're the personifications of the Haladini, Sambit, and Sandhini Shakti. So they created the whole situation. Then Yogamaya then arranges for the different pastimes to increase Krishna's pleasure. So they think about how to increase Krishna's pleasure. Krishna's thinking about how to enjoy. And they're thinking how we can give Krishna enjoyment also. So they have that freedom. So they create situations to please, because they know what Krishna likes. They know his nature. And so they arrange all these things. And it's a big job. Vrinda Devi, she has dozens of go-downs works within the forest of Vrindavan. All kinds of paraphernalia, sitting places and spittoons and holy colors and different clothes, everything. If they what they may want a water pastime, so it has to be fresh clothes. They may have a swing pastime from paraphernalia for making the garlands and all those things. So they had each had their responsibilities, and they have thousands of other servants to assist them. And so they continue. They make create the a situation that Krishna can enjoy a particular pastime in that. So they're given that freedom also. It's not that Krishna desires himself, but they also desire, and Krishna submits to that desire, because there'll be no self-interest there, because everyone is on that pure platform in Vrindavan. That's everyone loves Krishna more than themselves. That's the qualification for entering into the realm of Vrindavan. So there is eternal associates are there, just assisting Krishna in his pleasure. So that when he desires, or when he's requested to come to the material world, then Krishna just thinks about it. And then, okay, let it be. So then the demigods go to Mahavishnu, and Mahavishnu's understood everything from Krishna. So, because he is Krishna, it's an expansion of Krishna, but it's not directly Krishna. Is talking to Brahma. It's what is Krishna's expansion of expansion of expansion of expansion. Because Krishna's enjoying doing something else. Whatever he does, he's going to enjoy it. It's not a problem. But this is how he does it. This is how Krishna does it. Right? And then, so then Krishna himself comes when the situation is perfectly arranged. It's like we heard before, the Devaka's 6 sons, which represented Khan, Krodh, Lobha, etc. All those bad things, they were taken away. Those sons represented them who comes to kill. So the place, her body, her womb, mind became pure, perfectly pure, no one others. And then Balaram appeared. Then he spiritualized it. And then Balaram was transferred into Rohini. Then Krishna came, after everything was purified and spiritualized. So like that, the whole place was purified like that. And everyone was, extremely happy and jubilant and joyful. It was unprecedented. And then the Lord comes into that same environment of what's going on in the spiritual world. But the difference here is that even non-devotees and even conditioned souls can actually see these pastimes going on. They can't enter into them. They see them they're seeing something else. They're not, as we heard yesterday, Krishna's is rasa. He's enjoying all these different mellows, different tastes of love between his devotees. So, but for the outsiders, then they can't experience those things. They can see the activity, they can see the form of the pastime, if they're fortunate. But they can't actually enter into it. They can't actually experience that happiness of love. But they can become attracted. So simply by hearing about Krishna, they become attracted. Like Rukmini, like the wives of the Brahmanas, of course, these are not openly so. But the wives of Brahmanas, they never saw Krishna, just heard about him, but they become so attracted to him. So that's the that's the potency of, that's Krishna's internal potency, how it works. So the Dham, Prabhupada explains earlier on also about the Dham means the Dham, just like we have Mayapur or Navadip, Puri, Dwarka, Vrindavan, because in those places there's always the glories of the Lord are being discussed about his name, fame, qualities, pastimes, etc. That's what makes it a Dham, Prabhupada says. So wherever those things are going on, that place is the Dham. So even individually, in one's own body, your body becomes Dham when you're hearing about, remembering Krishna, chanting Krishna's glories, etc. That becomes Dham. So that's the other reason Krishna comes here. He was asked to come to assist to keeping the running the material universe running in the proper order. At the same time, he's going to attract millions and millions of people. Those who are fortunate see the pastimes. Those less fortunate, they hear about the pastimes, like us. But still, millions of people are coming. 5,000 years later, millions of people are being attracted by these pastimes of Krishna, and then they go back to God. So this is the what this is how Krishna's doing so many things. His enjoyment is unimpeded. He's living his life more or less exactly how he lives it in the spiritual world. He's just having a good time. But when he comes here, then so many people, so many of his devotees get that chance to have association with him. So many new people are drawn into the association of Krishna. And just by however they come, they get purified by hearing about him, by remembering talking about him, seeing any of those processes that which actually purifies one. When one is purified, when the anarthas are gone, then and it's just the Krishna Prem, love of Krishna is dormant within the heart. That we are lover. Everyone is a lover of Krishna. That's a constitution. So by hearing about Krishna, talk about Krishna, that cleans the misgivings, that cleans the doubts or the forgetfulness from the heart. Then naturally that's a attraction, spontaneous attraction, is awakened again. So this is what we see is actually happening. None of us saw Krishna. No one would like to admit it if they did. But anyway, a lot of us were. I never heard Krishna's name till I was 18 years old. I never heard the name of Krishna. And my father probably never heard the name of Krishna in his whole life. Probably. So anyway, so for some or other, even though we came from such fallen backgrounds, so far away from the civilized culture, but still we're here. Thousands of people are taking this process, hearing Krishna name, getting purified, trying to perform some service, becoming attracted to Krishna, feeling some affection for Krishna. So this is how Krishna reclaims his servants, his friends that have left the spiritual world. This is his process of coming back and roping us back in again, simply by performing his pastimes that he does. And then outside of that, then he performs his other, he acts like God, he acts like a spiritual master, he speaks Bhagavad Gita, he does all other things to bring us fringes back into closer and closer again. But himself, personally, he's just having a good time. Bhagavan Sri Krishna ki, Shrimad Bhagavatam ki, Shri Gopala ki, Thayo Premanandi. Any comments? Question? There. Oh. You can have that. Shall I put it on you?
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for the class. And the question is, two questions. One is demigods. they have a form and they expand and they come over here as in the Yadu and Boja dynasty in the past time they came. Same way is like Kamsa was a demon. So from lower planet, do they expand and be born in the kingly families? Or
Sorry, is that right?
the demons also appeared as Duryodhana and also Kamsa. The demons came appear. So do they also expand or they just come like that? That is one question. Second is, during the constellation, we said the constellations, the demigods, they already know Krishna's appearance and they created auspiciousness as a service. So Brahma is the topmost personality in this universe, and how come he became bewildered and didn't understand that Krishna has appeared and he tested Krishna?
That last question, Brian, how he became bewildered, there's some chapters on that. He means that anyone can become bewildered. Krishna is bewildering. If he wants to bewilder anyone, he can, even the topmost, even our acharya, the Madhavas. They don't comment on this, that chapter. Krishna, Brahma, Vimohan Leela, where Brahma's bewildered, they don't comment on that because he's their acharya, their Brahma Sampradaya. They're afraid to comment on that because, and he got bewildered another time also. So they don't comment on that because it's not very comfortable for them. But we don't have a problem. Even, even he is the founder of our Sampradaya, we're in that same Sampradaya. We don't have a problem that Krishna can bewilder anyone. Krishna is bewildering. And it shows that anyone, you know, no matter how elevated we think we may be, you know, even those people had problems. So we should always it keeps us humble by recognizing that. And the demons, they take birth also. They do. They do. I think in the Mahabharata it mentions the Yakshas and the others. When Duryodhana was going to quit, when he felt defeated, I forgot what it was, they encouraged him. No, it's the Danvers. They're taking birth. They're taking birth in your dynasty. So they're going to come at the Rakshasas. They're going to come and help you. So there's a lot of those powerful people. They can do that. Yeah. So you get different people. You know, you get different entities in one body. Spiritual, demigods, and humans all in one package. So everyone gets to take part in the pastimes of Krishna. That's a good thing, you see. And they all get purified. The demons get purified. They get purified quickly. They get killed. The others, and even the incarnations, they get to appear when Krishna comes. So they also get to experience that pastime also. And then when Krishna leaves, all of these expansions go back to their place, and their expansions, demigods, they go back to their place, and they like that. Then and Krishna goes back to his, and everyone goes back with respective positions, unless they decide to also go back to God. Behind you. Oh, sorry. Sorry, you want to speak?
Just want to request to you that you are in directly services. So if you have some personal realization, yeah, please share with us.
Everyone's in direct connection with Krishna. Panchatattva, that's singular. Not me. Not me. I'm not so fortunate.
Yes, thank you for showing us how Krishna is present and everybody, demigods and Jiva have his place and we are acting for his pleasure, for giving a higher pleasure. And I would like to know what kind of trees and flowers you like in the landscape?
Where?
Here, around in Mayapur Dham.
What kind of trees?
Trees and flowers. What we can do daily, we have many opportunity to have seeds to protect the green space, and we can plant seeds everywhere all the time with the kids between us and invite people. And we can take pressure and in 5 minutes plant one small parcel of flower on the tree. It's very quick to do. And I would like to know what you advise, like trees or flowers, if we have to ask an authorization, if there is content where we could go and give trees and flowers for improved pleasure.
You want to plant trees and flowers?
Personally, yes, I love that. Since I'm young, I plant trees in my. I come from a rural community and I study landscaping, protection of forests.
So you know that?
Yes, and here also something.
Okay. Yeah, we're actually making a Krishna theme park, 10 acres of land. So if you want to help, we're looking for someone who knows about landscaping, plants. There are a couple of devotees here. We haven't started yet, but you can, if you have some experience, we'd be very happy to have that information. Okay. Here we're planting. Here we're bottle trees, kadamba trees, 2 types. We have Kali kadambas, we have malati, malati, malika, jasmine, all those. We have lotus lily. We're trying to get all those flowers. We have a lot.
Hare Krishna. You mentioned that the devotees who take birth devotees who take birth when Krishna comes, they are media seers, mentioned. And what about the sages of Pankajanghri, because they took birth? And I don't understand that. How is it that? Because this said that before going back to Godhead, the devotees take birth wherever Krishna takes birth. And how is that? How do we relate that with the fact that those who take birth there are media seers?
No, the Nitya Siddhas are there. The Nitya Siddhas, a lot of them, the eternal satiates come. Some of the Nitya Siddhas which are here already. Then there's the sages of Namasabha. They're sadhana siddhis. They've got perfection by sadhana, by that. But they're perfect. They got their self-realization, but they wanted that relationship with Krishna Ram. So then he gave the opportunity, so then they joined. And but he says also in their next birth, then they got the opportunity to associate with Krishna directly as gopis. But they're the ones that couldn't go to the rest. They're the ones that were checked by their husbands and family members. So this has some little more to get rid of.
When Krishna takes birth, there are media seers found in him, so there are also sadhana seers who take birth there, and also some demons. And demigods.
Where Krishna?
Whenever Krishna takes birth.
Yeah. No, he came to kill the demons, so demons have to be there. So they all get liberated. by Krishna. But they may not go back to Godhead. That's not what they want. So, Baba, the key, Krishna.